Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. The theme of this episode is bad roommates. So the bad roommates subreddit is where we're going to be reading from today. Let's get into it. The title of the first story is Roommate Washed My Tanning Mitt with Their Clothes and Wants Me to Pay to Replace Them. I'm moving out once my lease is up in September. My roommate is very codependent and very much like, yay, teamwork, while I am like, stop touching my stuff. Your fingers smell like weed and cigarettes. Anyways, I just tanned a few days ago. I had my tanning mitt in a Ziploc bag on top of my laundry basket. My laundry basket inside my room in my closet. I do not share a room with my roommate. I was at work and my roommate was off. She decided to wash my tanning mitt and my dirty clothes with all her stuff because she didn't have a big enough load of laundry with just her stuff. I hadn't rinsed off the mitt at all, so some of the tanning foam got on her clothes and it's all orange. She tried washing again, but it's stained. She wants me to pay for the laundry that was ruined because I didn't tell her about the tanning mitt. First of all, you ruined my stuff too. And secondly, stop touching my stuff. I can smell her from a mile away with her stanky cigarette fingers. Yes, I have told you, like, no offense, girl, but you do stink, so stop touching my stuff because it gets on my stuff. I get migraines and I'm sensitive to smells, especially when she smokes weed while folding my clothes. I didn't ask her to do my laundry. I've told her to stop doing my laundry with hers. I don't want her ruining my stuff because she doesn't put it on delicate, wash on cold, etc. Third of all, I had the mitt wrapped up so the dye wouldn't touch anything and get it dirty. She took it out. So tell me, should I pay? Because I don't think so. This stanky girl is getting on my last nerve. No, I'm dead at the stanky though. Like, I actually love that. Dude, obviously not. And stop touching my stuff. And if I tell you once, why should I have to tell you again? You already know the story about my roommate stealing my fucking stuff, and multiple times, mind you. I will never let her live that down in a million years. Okay. There's an update. It says, update, I don't know how this works. So my roommate is taking me to small claims court. I told her I will not replace what she damaged. There is no reason to bust through the lock on my door to wash my clothes. Lots of people said I should take her to small claims court. Luckily, most of the clothes I had were black or dark, so you can't see any tanning stuff on it. And the rest was like underwear or just pajama shirts, so I don't really care, to be honest. But yeah, I got served papers at work the other day. This will be interesting. Court date is set for July 21st. How does that even work? What do you really go into court and you're like, okay, well, she took my clothes from my room. Obviously, they're not going to say, I can't believe this girl actually thinks that she's in the right here. It's really crazy to me. The top comment says, LMFAO, no. In fact, you should try to make her pay for the clothes she ruined. Yeah, tell her to pay for your stuff too, as well as intruder tax for going through your closet. Must be out of her mind thinking her demand is justified. She should pay for your stuff. She shouldn't have entered your room without being directly told to, much less without informing you and getting permission. She entered your room without permission. She shouldn't have done your laundry without asking you, especially if she was told not to. She's 1000% in the wrong for this and should pay for your things and take it as a cheap lesson about boundaries. Agreed, and I'm not really sure why people don't listen when they're told not to do something. The title of the next story is, I found out my roommate has been marking my mail as return to sender. One of my roommates is extremely passive-aggressive. We honestly just don't click, but I'm still friendly. I mean, we share space, so I found out today through my mailman that they have been making all my mail, including important pay stubs from work, as return to sender. I was told they said, no one who lives here works for insert company here, which is funny because all my roommates know where and what company I work for. My mailman found it odd because he used to work for the same company and just so happens to see me coming in from work with my uniform on. He pulled me aside and addressed it to me and told me specifically who it was. To be honest, I'm kind of shocked that someone would do something like this because I've been missing mail and had no idea what was happening with it. Would you guys address this with your roommate? If I do, I got a feeling this won't end well. I would definitely address that with my roommate. I'd be like, girl, what the hell are you doing? Who do you think you are? The top comment says, yeah, no, confront her, but be prepared to be gaslit to hell and back. They're doing that out of spite. And then someone responded to that and said, postal inspectors today. And Blue Sky said back, this tampering with mail is illegal. And then someone else said, a federal crime. Yeah, just file the police report. This dude deserves to suffer the consequences of his actions. Try and gather proof. Yikes. I mean, yeah, I would definitely just take the legal route at that point, because why are you tampering with my mail? Why are you doing that? That's actually ridiculous. And to know that I had my mail tampered with would give me a surge of anxiety that I could not explain, because the way that I get so nervous that I probably got called to be a juror and I just never received the letter because I have so many different addresses out there, because I've lived in so many different damn houses, apartments, condos, fucking dorm rooms, and I get so nervous because I'm like, what if they send my juror invite to the wrong house and then I can't show up to the courthouse? Like, I'm scared they're gonna come arrest me for that. Mind you, I'm very paranoid, so I'm scared that a lot of people are gonna come arrest me for God knows what. I don't even do illegal stuff. I do not partake in illegal activities. Yet I am scared every day that a cop is going to come arrest me at my house. Maybe I would call it trauma. Maybe. Probably trauma. Usually if I think a little bit about it, I'm like, you know what? That's probably because actually growing up, I don't know, maybe 5 times I had the police banging on the door saying, police department, and I have to open it as a little fucking girl, and I'm like, hello. And then they come in and they tear my apartment or my house apart, depending on which we lived in at the time. But it was always me. Why was I always the victim there? Hello? I'm just a little girl. But yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why every time a cop drives by me, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to fucking pull me over. Also because I got pulled over because I was driving if you guys know the lore with my brother, like, he was a drug dealer in my town. Infamous drug dealer. Like, no, he wasn't really that crazy, but he was the one drug dealer in my town that everyone knew and came to. Love that. But he's good now. Anyways, and he went to jail and stuff, and he's been to jail many a time and rehab. But he's okay. That's long story short. But I think it was like my senior year of high school, I was driving the car that my brother had been driving for a while, which wasn't his car, it was my mom's car. But I drove that car and a cop pulled me over because they thought it was him, because they obviously had him, they had him on their radar. And they made up that like my back tail light was out once they saw that it was me. And I was like, rude. Why would you give me anxiety like that? I've never been pulled over in my life before. That's the only time I've ever been pulled over in my life while I was driving. So I was fucking shaking in my booties, down boots. Like, for real, I was shaking. I was like, oh my God, guys, I'm going to jail. Help. No, nothing happened. I went home and I lived at my grandparents' at the time, and I called the police department and I was like, excuse me. I thought it was so cool because I was calling the police department to make a report, as if they're going to take my side and not their fucking employee's side, who they definitely knew like was sussing out my brother. I was like, hello, this man just pulled me over, and it was, I don't remember what I called it. I don't know. It was a professional word that I used. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, yeah, he said that my tail light was out, but it wasn't. And he was lying. And they were like, oh, well, maybe it was just hitting the sun in the wrong way, and like he pulled you over. And I was like, okay, so you're not going to do anything about it? You should have him arrested. I don't know what I thought I was doing there, but I just needed to have some control of that situation. Okay, the title of the next story is New Housemate Does an Unusual Amount of Laundry. Does she have a laundry side hustle? My room is next to the washer room, so I can usually hear everything or sometimes run into whoever is doing their laundry. We all share the utilities bills. This new housemate moved in about 2 months ago, and I only started noticing her unusual laundry habit since last month. Before we assigned personal laundry days, the housemate used to do her laundry almost every day for hours and hours, so we had to arrange laundry days. Now she has 2 days each week to herself for laundry, and she's doing it from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. sometimes. She always has multiple baskets of clothes to wash, and she does them in more than 4 to 5 loads, so the washer and dryer will constantly be running. What seemed the most unusual to me When I was walking my dog this morning for the first time, I saw her hanging 5 to 7 clothes with plastic covers onto the back of grip of her car, along with bringing out 2 to 3 bags of, I presume, are cleaned clothes from the house onto her car. From what I know, she has a government-related job and she's usually working from home. How does she have so much laundry to take care of? So far, I can live with whatever is going on, but I am a little bit weirded out. I'm anticipating a raise in water bills starting next month. Should I confront her about this? What if she is in fact using the shared washer and dryer for a side hustle? That would be wild. And also, you should just say, hey, I have this side hustle. I'll pay a certain amount more of the water bills every month because obviously I'm using more of it. And then you can just keep your side hustle. I'm not really sure why you wouldn't just say that. There's an edit. It says, problem solved. She confirmed that she has a laundry side job and simply agreed to stop using the washer and dryer units for this purpose, since the rental contract does forbid using all premises for commercial purposes. Thank you all for your advice. Interesting. The top comment says, if your water bill goes up, talk to her and your other roommates about splitting bills differently. It seems like everyone is aware she does more laundry than you guys, so it shouldn't be a huge issue, unless your lease specifies that you can't use a rental property for making money. It's probably not something you should be worried about. Wait, I wonder if that's true. I didn't know that that was a thing, that you couldn't like use something for making money. Like you couldn't have that. You couldn't have like a side hustle there, I guess, if it's not your laundry and your laundry unit. I don't know. That's interesting to me. The title of the next story is, I just am now realizing how intrusive my flatmate was. I recently kicked my flatmate out. Long story, but she was able to afford 35 plus sex toys, multiple $400 skincare products, and more than a dozen pairs of expensive sneakers, but could never pay rent on time. Went overseas and couldn't get back into the country because she's so dumb she assumed she had citizenship. Mopped with the plastic wrapper still on the mop, etc. Dumbest person I've ever met. Anyways, since she's been gone, I've realized how intrusive she was. I had a look at her Insta a little while ago, and there's a photo of my dog lying on my bed. All good. Cute, right? Except I can see in the mirror from that angle that she's actually in my bed. Get out of my effing bed, you weirdo. I had a set of digital bathroom scales that I kept pretty far back in my very full wardrobe, as there isn't much storage in the house. I went to use them one day and could not find that shit. Nowhere to be seen. A bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Months later, while I'm clearing out her room, she never did come back, I find a set of scales just like them among all her stuff. I hopped on, but they were measuring in pounds and not kg, as she's British. Just now, I sat bolt upright in my bed, and my eyes went into different directions, and I ran to the scales. And yes, you can change pounds and kg. They're my scales, and she must have spent so much time going through my wardrobe to find them. Other things that I found in the room included a fancy pewter horse head bottle opener, which I once asked her if she had seen because I couldn't find it, and she said no, but she had it. One of my necklaces, which she had hanging on a little hook, she would have had to go through my drawers to find it. It's an antique and it's very distinctive. My 2 hot water bottles that I kept in my other wardrobe, both near new. One is long with a brown jersey on, and one is gray with a fluffy panda cover on it. I've had it for years. No mistaking that they're mine. And a set of new bedding that was mine somehow migrated from the hot water cupboard / linen closet into a plastic tub, along with all the bedding she compulsively bought, still in packaging. I thought I was going mental trying to find it. Anyway, she's a few months gone now, but I love the little scavenger hunt she set for me with my own belongings. That's actually crazy. I wish that I could have gone through my roommates' rooms because, like, when they moved out, because I feel like sometimes I would be like, where is that? Why did that disappear? And the thing that's so interesting to me is I would never in a million years think about going through my roommate's room, unless, of course, they definitely stole something from me and I needed to go find it, or I wanted to go find it, because simply that's mine and I think you have every right. If you know that your roommate stole something from you, yeah, you can go in their room. You can, because why would they go in your room and take your property? Hello? So, yeah, I would definitely do that. And that did happen with one of my roommates when she stole all of our silverware and put it in her bathtub for some reason. Like, not really sure what the point of that was. And definitely very scared because she was away for the summer. She hid it in her bathtub and locked her doors. Like, what is wrong with you, girl? What the hell? Also, I need a fork. I want to eat something, please. Thank you. The title of the next story is My Roommate Does Not Wash Her Hands After Taking a Dump. My best friend bought a home out in the country and offered for me to rent a room in it. I've been living with her ever since. My room is right outside the bathroom, and I started to notice that she didn't wash her hands after peeing. I didn't love that, but I didn't say anything. But the other day, we were leaving to the airport, and she stated her stomach was acting up and had to run to the toilet. She didn't even have time to close the door. I just stood there, maybe 5 feet from the bathroom, at front door, small house. She took a violent shit and then came back out without washing her hands. I stood there flabbergasted. She had a diarrhea shit and didn't wash her hands. And then all the very many times I noticed that she took shits and did not wash her hands, but I thought I was going crazy, were probably right. Now that I've been more aware, I've seen her go to the bathroom, number 2, and go into the kitchen to prepare food. I've seen her take fat number 2s and head out to work. I don't know what to do. After the violent diarrhea, I said, "You didn't wash your hands?" And she said, "Yep, I did," and walked away. What can I even do? I'm going to get E. coli ass disease and die. Okay, that is the most unserious thing I've ever read. First of all, I get that it's gross, but like, mind your business. Mind your business. What is she cooking your food? Is she making you smoke her cigarettes and she's like holding up her fingers to your mouth? Like, what is she making you suck on her fingies? Probably not. So just like let her do what she wants to do. I get that it's gross and you can call her out for it and be like, "Ew, that's disgusting," but mind your business. You're not going to get E. coli. I promise you're not going to get E. coli from that girl unless you literally let her prepare your food and touch your food. Or you suck on her fingies again. If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you. The top comment says, "I don't know why, but seeing fat shit over and over made me legit laugh out loud." And then the next person said, "I'm a licensed massage therapist. There's been many a time I walk my client to the bathroom before the massage and I don't hear them wash their hands after. I appreciate knowing this though, because I won't massage their hands then. I also had a client once tell me that you don't need to use soap when you wash yourself, just water. I always use extra hand sanitizer during that person's massage and scrub my hands and arms till they're red after." Okay, to be honest with you, I don't think not washing your hands after peeing is like a big deal. Unless you get piss on your hands, like, I don't really know. Unless you're a guy and you're like touching your pee-pee, actually. If you're like touching your penis and you're peeing, then I think that you should wash your hands. But like, I'll never understand why it's such a big deal to not wash your hands after you pee. This is going to be a hot take for sure. It's going to for sure be a hot take. But like, first of all, girl, the way that I'm in my house, go and pee about 77 times when I drink a lot of water. And I typically try to drink a lot of water. So it's like, I'm in my house, I'm peeing, and I'm going to go 17 times within the next 20 minutes. Why am I going to wash my hands every single time? I'm simply not washing my hands every single time. Do I want my hands to be drying and crusting and shedding 17 layers of skin? No. So, sorry. Hate to say it, but I'm not washing my hands that many times. I will wash my hands. If it's like a big pee, I'm going to wash my hands after I poop, obviously. But if it's like a regular size pee, but I have like a bladder problem, I think. I think I have that problem where it's like your bladder doesn't let all the pee out so that I have to keep continuously peeing. And it's like, I don't even flush the toilet sometimes, actually many a time, because I'll have a little tinkle and then like 2 minutes later I'll have to tinkle again. And I know myself, so I'm like, I'm just going to leave that there because I'm not about to waste so much water and flush the toilet 18 times in the next 2 minutes when I know that my little tinkles are going to keep coming out. So it's like, I'm not going to wash my hands. But so I don't really think like not washing your hands after peeing is really that crazy, but I get the poop poos. I get it. I do get it. The title of the night, we're doing a lot of stories because they're just like all really short. So I'm like, I want to do the most possible for this. And they're just fun little funny stories. The title of this story is My Roommate Charges Me Fines for Breaking Her Stupid Rules. I don't even know how to deal with this anymore. My roommate, let's call her Ashley, has started leaving little sticky notes on my door with fines that I owe her for breaking her dumb house rules. The fines are ridiculous. $5 for not emptying the trash on time, $3 for leaving the bathroom light on, but honestly, the craziest one was an $8 fine for not making my bed. WTF? The only way she would know that is by going in my room when I'm not home, and that makes me feel uncomfortable. For the most part, I've kind of just ignored it. I know, bad idea, because we're on different schedules and don't see each other a lot. But tonight, when I got home, Ashley decided to confront me with what I owe her. Y'all, she literally pulled out a little notebook and tried to tell me all the things that I did wrong. I told her there's no way I'm paying her fake fines, and she got all huffy and said it's to teach me accountability. It turned into a big fight, and now we're not talking to each other, which is nice, lol. But like, I'm not even messy. She's the one who always leaves her bags and shit at the door, so coming into the house is like a minefield, but yet I'm the problem? Crazy. It feels like she's trying to act like my mom and my landlord all rolled into one. How do I even respond to her? She's a grown-ass woman and shouldn't be acting like this. I don't care how long she's lived in the house before me. Making up random fines, like, and being like, oh, sorry, you owe me $2 because you, like, that's like the cuss jar. Like, that's so imaginary. It is so not real. Obviously, I'm not fucking paying you money because I didn't make my bed. Girl, what do you mean? That's wild. And also, I would be questioning her mental sanity at that point. Like, I feel like I would need to report her to the Bureau of Insane People. Like, I would need her to be going and getting her head checked out, because like, what do you mean? Why do you think that would be okay to charge me fines unless it were a big joke, like unless it was a big funny prank that you were pulling on me? And then I would be, you know, slapping my knee, haha, that's so funny. But like, you're gonna actually tell me that I owe you this money because I didn't take out the trash on time? Girl, tell me where that was in the lease agreement that I signed, because I can bet your bottom dollar that it was not. The top comment says, I'm petty AF, so I'd start finding her as well. But I'd write, see how stupid this is, on the bottom. OP said, yes, I should fine her for wasting my time. For breaking and entering in your room, $100. No, actually, though, $100. I think that is a fair amount of money to charge for breaking and entering. 100%. Or, you know, the cops would definitely charge you a lot more, like a night in prison, probably. Or not in prison, jail. But that's the last story we're going to read from the Bad Roommates section. It's always funny to read these, especially because they're usually a little bit more lighthearted than our typical episode. You know, we don't get a lot of lightheartedness on these episodes, so it's always nice to incorporate some lighthearted, funny little stories about poopies and washing your hands and stuff. So yeah, today I got my, finally guys, and don't tell anybody this, don't. I'm scared that I'll get in trouble with the government. I've been living in Florida since 2016, since I came here for college, and I just now got my Florida ID this morning. I've had an Iowa ID all this time. Sorry. I didn't really know, like, I don't know. Also, I'm just lazy and I didn't really feel like doing that. But yeah, I finally got it this morning and I'm like finally a Florida resident, I guess. I think it's maybe that I just didn't want to accept it. And once I actually had to get my license, that was me accepting that I'm a Florida resident. And I'm like, do I want to be called a Florida resident? I don't know. So hopefully in 2 years' time, I will no longer be a Florida resident and I will move to the next state. My goal, I've told you guys so many times, my goal is to be in New England, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm leaning heavily towards Massachusetts, but I'm open to other places as well. Massachusetts, I just love, I love the Salem area. Beverly, Salem, Rockport, all those areas I think are just so cute and so charming. And I really want to live in like a nice, charming, little cute town up north and have seasons and just like have a nice, lovely little life. Maybe I'm romanticizing it, and I am, because I always do. I romanticize everything, but what are you going to do about it? Arrest me? Fine me? You're going to give me a fine for romanticizing my life? I'd like to see you try. Okay, but anyways, love you guys, and let me know what you thought about those stories. And if you have any bad roommates yourself, or, you know, bad roommate stories, please leave it on our subreddit. The subreddit's linked below. It's the Storytime Society subreddit. You can share any stories on there of your own, or if you see any stories that you like on Reddit and you would want me to read them, you can share them on there as well. But I love you guys, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being alive today, and I hope you have the best day, night, morning, afternoon, ever. Okay? Seriously. Love you. Goodbye. Sayonara. I don't know why I said that. Okay, bye. My merch is out. Yeah, but this is it. And this comes in pink, black, and white. If you want to get a little cute piece of merch, go grab one. Link is in the description to purchase. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.